all of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Katt Williams just took a blowtorch to the entertainment industry, and Diddy is at the center of the fire. In the middle of a federal scandal that's already threatening to take down Sean Diddy Combs for sex trafficking and racketeering, Katt Williams is now speaking out, and he's not pulling punches. From secretive Hollywood parties to celebrity power plays, the comedian is calling out the names you're not supposed to say out loud: Tyler Perry, Jay-Z, and yes, Diddy. With legal documents piling up, courtrooms filling with familiar faces, and the industry holding its breath, Katt's commentary isn't just bold, it's potentially dangerous. So what does he know? Why is he suddenly calling everyone out? And could his refusal to play the fame game finally come back to haunt Hollywood's biggest names? If this Diddy saga has you hooked, just wait. More secrets are coming out, more stars are speaking up, and things are only getting wilder from here. So hit that subscribe button right now and stay locked in. Because when the next bombshell drops, you're gonna want to be the first to know, not the last to catch up. This is just the beginning. Let's get into it. If there's one thing you already know about Katt Williams, it's this: he doesn't play the industry's game. He's been blackballed, he's been locked out of TV deals, he's even been arrested on bizarre charges that never seem to stick. And through all of it, Katt has stayed consistent, telling the truth, even when it costs him. In a now viral interview, Katt dropped what many are calling the realest breakdown of Hollywood power structures ever aired, and when he mentioned Diddy, he didn't blink. Katt accused the industry of protecting predators, naming names, dropping receipts, and suggesting that Diddy's parties weren't just social mixers, but places where careers were made or broken. He said he's been offered money, big money, to stay quiet, to show up, to look the other way, and he turned it all down. According to Katt, staying out of Diddy's inner circle wasn't just a moral choice, it was a survival move. Let's talk about the parties. For years, Diddy's infamous gatherings have been whispered about like urban legends: mansion soiree, all-white dress codes, cell phones confiscated at the door. Stars have joked about them in interviews. The vibe? A little too exclusive, a little too mysterious. And now, in the middle of Diddy's arrest and federal charges, those jokes don't feel so funny. Katt hinted that many of these parties were fronts for something darker: sexual coercion, drugs, control. Not just wild nights, but leverage. Because once you've seen something, or done something, or had it filmed, you're in the system. That's the implication behind Katt's words, that Diddy wasn't just a music mogul, he was a gatekeeper of secrets. And in an industry where everyone wants something, that kind of control is worth more than money. And Katt didn't stop with Diddy, he dropped other names too: Tyler Perry and Jay-Z, two giants in entertainment, two men known for their empires, not their scandals. But in Katt's version of the industry map, everyone's connected, everyone's made choices, and the people who stay rich and untouchable are the ones who've either played along, or made sure no one could expose them. Now let's be clear, Katt didn't accuse these men of specific crimes, but he did suggest they were deeply tied into the same machine that protected people like Diddy for years. And here's the thing, no one's responding. Not Jay, not Tyler, not anyone from their camps. And in Hollywood, silence often says more than a press release, especially when courtrooms are involved. While the headlines were still spinning from the raids on Diddy's homes, news broke Diddy has officially been arrested. The charges, as serious as it gets: multiple accusers, alleged sex trafficking, racketeering, multi-state coordination. And now that the legal floodgates are open, more names are coming out. Legal analysts are already calling this the most high-profile celebrity criminal case since Weinstein. But what makes this different is how many stars were connected to Diddy, and how many might be dragged into this against their will. Because once subpoenas start flying, no one gets to stay neutral. Not if you were at the party, not if your name's on the guest list, not if you looked the other way. The investigation isn't just about Diddy anymore, it's about the entire ecosystem that let him operate unchecked for so long. Katt Williams is playing a dangerous game, but it's one he's been ready for his whole life. By calling out Diddy, he's not just throwing punches, He's challenging an entire system, a system that rewards silence and punishes dissent. But here's the twist. Katt's not afraid. He's already been canceled, already blackballed. He doesn't need to play nice to keep his career. And that's exactly why people are listening now. Because if he's willing to risk everything to say this, maybe the things he's saying are worth hearing. Meanwhile, those who are staying quiet, they might not have that luxury much longer. Because as this trial unfolds, the public wants answers, and silence is starting to sound like guilt. This story isn't just about Diddy, or even Katt, it's about what's been hiding in plain sight. For decades, we've seen the signs: odd interviews, nervous laughs, uncomfortable moments that didn't make sense until now. Katt's statements are shining a light on something bigger. Hollywood isn't just a dream factory, it's a system, one that eats its own. And when someone steps outside the script, when they say, "No thanks to the fame machine," it becomes clear just how deep the rot goes. We've laughed at the rumors, called them conspiracy theories. But now, the FBI is knocking. The arrests are real, and the jokes, they're starting to hit differently. Let's just go ahead and ask the question everybody's thinking but too scared to say. Where was all this righteous outrage before the FBI kicked in Diddy's doors? Because these allegations, these rumors, these strange stories, whispered at after parties, and dropped in cryptic lyrics and awkward interviews, they aren't new. They're just finally too loud to ignore. But make no mistake, Hollywood knew. The same people tweeting prayers for the victims today were clinking champagne glasses at his parties last year. The same producers who are suddenly shocked and appalled were booking Diddy for brand deals 2 months ago. Don't let the performative distancing fool you. The industry didn't just find out, it just became socially expensive to pretend it didn't know. So now they're scrubbing their Instagram tags, unfollowing quietly, calling up crisis PR teams for those we've always supported survivors' statements that were nowhere to be found in 2009, or 2013, or 2020. Welcome to Hollywood's favorite game, selective memory. And now we've got to talk about Black Hollywood, because this one cuts deep. Diddy wasn't just a mogul, he was our mogul, a success story, a come-up, a symbol of Black wealth, influence and power in a system built to keep us out. He was the American dream, just with a fur coat, a champagne flute, and a yacht parked outside Revolt HQ. So when someone like Katt Williams dares to drag that dream into the harsh light of day, the backlash is brutal, from all sides. Because in Black Hollywood, there's this unspoken rule: you don't air the family's dirty laundry. But here's the problem: what happens when the laundry isn't just dirty but criminal? When protecting the culture becomes code for enabling abuse? When calling out a predator is framed as tearing another Black man down, but staying quiet means letting more victims pile up in silence? It's a moral chokehold, and Katt broke free. That's why what he's doing matters, because accountability doesn't stop being necessary just because someone has a legacy, especially when that legacy is built on the bones of people who never got to speak. Now let's have a quick moment of silence for all the people crying about cancel culture. You know the one. Cancel culture is out of control. They're trying to erase Diddy's contributions to hip-hop. It's just accusations. Let the man live. Please, let's get something straight. You cannot cancel a man worth $800 million, who has entire media networks, liquor brands, fashion deals and billionaires on speed dial. This is not a case of someone getting dropped from a sitcom for a tweet from 2012. This is a man who allegedly orchestrated an entire system of exploitation, and people are still bending over backward to defend him, because they liked Last Night, featuring Keisha Cole. Diddy isn't being canceled, he's being investigated by the federal government because multiple people came forward, and the evidence was too damning to ignore. That's not cancel culture, that's consequences, and rich men hate consequences. There was a time when being famous meant you were untouchable. You could cheat, steal, lie, assault, and people would still line up for your autograph because hey, you're on TV. But now, that glass castle is starting to shatter. Katt Williams pulled out a hammer and said what so many people have been too scared to admit: celebrity is a shield, and that shield has covered up horrors. And Diddy's not the only one, he's just the one getting caught first. Because the culture of silence, the unspoken rules, the don't ask, don't tell contracts of fame, they're all starting to rot from the inside. People are done pretending. The internet is no longer afraid of status. The group chat is more powerful than the record label. And fans? They're becoming investigators. It's not just about Diddy, it's about the whole game. And finally, the game is losing. You want to know what's really keeping execs up at night? It's not the trial, it's not the headlines, it's not even Katt Williams, it's the fear of who talks next. Because once one person breaks silence, 10 others start drafting statements. Once one accuser is believed, 10 more feel brave enough to come forward. Once one lawsuit sticks, they all start to move. Diddy isn't the only one who held dirt. He's not the only one who threw parties. He's just the one whose name came up first. But behind every celebrity scandal is a group of people who helped make it possible. The managers, the lawyers, the friends who didn't know the full story, even though they were there every weekend. The silence is cracking. And somewhere out there, there's a celebrity publicist chain smoking on a rooftop, because they know the dominoes are about to fall. You think the drama ends when the trial starts? Nope, that's just the beginning of the cleanup. You'll start seeing NDAs getting updated. You'll see artists unfollowing each other. People will start pretending they were never that close to Diddy. Expect a sudden influx of healing podcasts and documentaries about surviving the industry. Expect a few producers to conveniently disappear from social media. Expect sudden rebrands, apologies in lowercase letters, and new albums full of vague growth metaphors. The rats are leaving the yacht, and the PR teams are already lining up fall guys. Some poor assistant will take the blame for booking the wrong guests. Some intern will be fired for misconduct. They'll call it an isolated case. They'll call it a misunderstanding. But you'll know the truth. The house was always crooked. It just finally caught fire. So what do we take away from all this? Maybe that speaking truth, real, raw, uncomfortable truth, takes guts. And Katt Williams, he's got enough guts for the whole damn industry. He burned the script. He tore the curtain. He said the things people whispered for years. And now the whole system is panicking. Because when you say Diddy's name out loud, you're not just naming a man, you're naming an empire, and empires, they fall hard. But what do you think? Is Katt just saying what needed to be said, or is Hollywood about to rewrite history to cover its tracks? Drop your take in the comments, name names, connect the dots, the floor is yours, and if you want the truth before it hits the headlines, subscribe, because the next trial isn't months away, it's already happening, you just haven't seen the guest list yet.